So my BSSD journey started in 8th grade. I started it knowing how God operated through Bill Johnson, Chris Fountain, Randy Clark, and seeing the amazing miracles that they did. I could never really see myself doing those kind of things. And pretty much, I didn't really have hope for myself in that aspect. In 8th grade, I wasn't really the best student. I didn't learn too well. My teachers would definitely agree by my grades. I really didn't apply myself, and I didn't really have hope for college, honestly, because the way I learned wasn't the way the average person learns. So it just didn't really work out for me. In my 8th grade year, a prophet came to my church, and I didn't really know what it was going to be about when he came or anything, but pretty much at the end of the service, he was prophesying over everybody, and I was in line to get prophesied over. Everybody was going up, falling down, and crying, and I wasn't really expecting too much. So when he got to me, I wasn't expecting too much, but he started praying over me, and he only said 2 things. He said Bethel and California. And with this, I kind of grasped onto a hope at this point that there is something after high school for me, and it isn't college per se, it's more of a ministry school that could push me into something that I can really enjoy. Point. So after this, I go through the whole application process, and I do my online application and send it out. And I get an email back a few weeks later while I was at work, and it says that I've been deferred to a coast school, and if I want, I can send my application there. So without really thinking, I kind of go back into this place of not really having hope anymore and not being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm like, sure, what the heck, what do I have to lose? God's word still remains true, Bethel, California, so let's do this. So I sent in my application, and I heard back an hour later, and I got an email from Willie directly saying that I've been accepted. So I didn't tell my parents till the night after that I got accepted to another school after being not accepted to Reading, or deferred, I guess is the way they put it. So with this information, my dad decided to find Willie, Steve, and Dan on Facebook and message them all. So within an hour, it was probably 11 o'clock at night on the West Coast, they all messaged back, and Willie called back to reassure my dad that everything was going to be okay if he sent me across country. And my dad, after that, felt complete peace. My mom felt peace about it as well, and they knew that this is where I was supposed to go from the word that I got. So let's fast forward to my first year. So I make it through the whole process of going through the summer and making it to California, road tripping it from New York to California. And pretty much I realized in my first year that I wasn't just another face in the crowd to God, that he was my father, and that I actually meant something to him. That God saw me as chosen and wealthy in his eyes, and that my talents didn't need to be seen by anybody else but him and but me. And nothing else mattered but my relationship with him. And with that, I found myself, and I found what it really meant to be a Christian, for the first time in my life. So in my first year, I was kind of drawn to the production department, and I really found myself being there most afternoons, trying to just do whatever I could and serve any way I could. And I really found a joy in this, and I found that learning could actually be fun for once, and that learning was something I could do, and I wasn't bad at it. So first year was amazing, and second year was all about refining the leader in me that God instilled. And pretty much what this looked like was a lot of things being uprooted in me. After an awful summer of going back home, God showed me that being blunt and being abrupt about things isn't always the right way to go about things. And honestly, I didn't even realize I was doing it that way. I didn't realize I was speaking that way. So I had a lot of opportunities for God to put me in situations where I got to be the bigger person, and I got to choose that I'm going to let somebody in front of me and I'm going to serve them and what their needs are, and just pretty much just love them in that moment and be able to love myself too, because the identity that God instilled in me is so much greater than how I first saw myself. So at the end of my second year, I pretty much realized that if God calls me to speak to hundreds or to thousands, that I'll be able to do it, and I'll be able to do it confidently because I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I can see who He created me to be. And through this whole process, from not knowing who I was, not having hope enough to be who I thought I could be, or be as big as Bill or Chris or even Randy Clark, God showed me that I can do whatever I want, and I can be as big as I want, I can be as rich as I want, and I can live life free, and I don't need any of that either. There's no obstacle that God can't tear down, and there's nothing in front of me that I can't jump over with His help. So what's the obstacle that you're facing that you can't jump over?